All right, hey everybody, Mark Burgess here, Big East Bass Fishing. I hope you're all doing extremely well, catching a lot of fish. It seems like it's been forever since I've actually talked to you, posting a bunch of stuff from Bass Nation Pro-Ams and things like that, the live that we've been doing, the last two tournaments. But I wanted to talk to you today about the recent changes with bass and kind of give you my take on it. And then I really want to know what your thoughts are regarding this. And of course, it revolves around forward-facing sonar, right? So if anybody follows bass, the sport of professional bass fishing on the highest level, Bassmaster Elite Series, MLF, NPFL, especially the last year, a lot of changes, right? So I've talked about how I thought the NPFL, which is where Matt Herren went to after his disqualification with Bass, I thought they made the right decision just completely banning forward-facing sonar, okay? And it's been an entertaining product. I believe they made the right decision for them. For the anglers that are fishing that now, that's what they want to do. There's a huge audience of people who want to see that, okay? And, I don't blame them. So, I think they made the right decision. MLF, doing what they did. I thought that was a little bit weird, where they would decide what period they would use forward-facing sonar. Okay, so they break their day up into periods. Okay, so it kind of lends itself to that. And that's kind of proven to be worked out. It's proven to be a good thing for them. I'm not aware, I can't think of any negative repercussions from that. Okay, it seems to have worked for them perfectly fine. As far as I know, guys are catching them, certain guys are catching them with and without. I have noticed a few guys that I didn't even know their names catching them. I'm not sure if they caught them using forward-facing sonar or not. Maybe they did in both. I don't know if you know, but they take this little device and they basically lock it on your transducer so it blocks the signal. Can't use it. So you have to tell them when you're going to use it and when you're not going to use it. So Bass, what they did, they reduced the screen size, standardized the amount of screens you could have on the boat, well, the size of screen. Okay, measuring each one like a 9 or a 12 or whatever, 15. To X amount of inches. One forward-facing sonar transducer on the trolling motor, or on apparatus on the trolling motor where you can basically aim it. In my opinion, hasn't really changed the outcome of the effectiveness of forward-facing sonar. Seen some pretty amazing things from the guys using it. Stone Cold. I want to say Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? Anyway, seen some amazing things in perspective mode. Guys using it pretty much every tournament. They're using it one way or another and doing very, very well with it. So now comes Matt Herren. Okay, so Matt Herren blows this whole thing up, throws a huge grenade in it. As far as, he was disqualified for the information rule. However, he has done a few interviews where he's talked about conversations between him and Bass, where he actually did like an informal poll, if you will, with the anglers, and they basically told him they voted overwhelmingly with him to do away with it or to limit it in some capacity. Bass basically told him, you share that information and you're done. This was prior to his disqualification. Okay, so that's kind of important fact, right? All of a sudden he's randomly picked 40th place. Oh, 40th place. So it just so happens to be Matt Herren. And in my opinion, he didn't break any rule. But in the letter of the law, as far as black and white polygraph, did you receive information? Yes. Was it intentional? No. Were you going to act on it? No. The situation where, you know, his buddy lives 70 miles down the river, and they always get together and fish, and there's this one bank where his buddy always catches them, and Matt never catches them, and they never catch them when they go there, when they fish together, and there's never any fish on it, and it's a big joke, okay? Like, oh yeah, you're going to go to that bank. I ain't going to that bank, right? There's never any fish on that. Never caught a fish on that bank, and I don't believe that you ever did. That kind of thing. So anyway, Matt gets disqualified, okay? He was on some serious meds at the time, not in the right frame of mind to take it, all of that. Anyhow, bottom line is he gets disqualified from that tournament, St. John's. So he basically leaves Bass. Now he's free to talk about whatever he wants to talk about. And if you have seen any of Randy Blockett's stuff, if you have seen his interviews with Iaconelli, yeah, he doesn't pull any punches, okay? So I encourage you to go look at some of this stuff. Look up Matt Herren on his Facebook page, and you can see that stuff. You can see the interview with Iaconelli, and you can see the stuff that Blockett's talking about too. So anyway, so it brings me to where I'm at with it. What is Bass going to do? They just took this is from reliable sources in the industry. Bass took a vote. Passed before the Sabine River, in between Fork and Sabine. And a couple things from that. I've heard, and I can't, this is not, I don't know this for sure, but electronics companies basically reached out to their pro staff, their paid pro staff on retainer. If you vote to do away with forward facing sonar, you're all done. Okay, we're not going to sponsor you. Okay, don't know if that's a fact or not. Don't know if that's true. I have no idea. Maybe you do. Let me know. So, rumor also has it they're going to, next year now, half the season, this is what I've heard, half the season they'll be able to use forward-facing sonar, the other half they won't. I have a huge problem with that, okay, because of the way the points line up, and the fact that, you know, so if, let's just use 8 tournaments, for example. They have 9, but let's say 8. So the first 4, you can use it. Guys are going to get out to a pretty good lead in the points. You know, I don't know what the schedule is. I don't know how well forward-facing sonar lends itself to those first 4 tournaments. And maybe it's the other way around. Maybe the first 4 you can't use it. And maybe they're lakes that forward-facing sonar would have excelled on. Maybe it's on lakes that it wouldn't have worked as well, although these guys are using it all the time, everywhere they go. I don't know. There's just so many unknowns with that. And I don't know. And now I look back at MLF, how they do the period, you know, and you can decide, you know, which period. And it's kind of like the same thing, but it's basically micromanaged to the point where it's not that big. One period of one day of a tournament in a whole schedule, it isn't going to break the bank. But half the tournaments, I don't think that's the way to go. I'm thinking, and I want to know your thoughts on this, I'm thinking full field on Elite Series fishes 2 days. And then, of course, top 50 fish day 3, top 10 fish day 4. I'm thinking you have to decide first or second day whether you are using front-facing sonar or not. Okay, so day 1 you say, yeah, I'm going to use it. You know, day 1, if you're on the other side, no, I'm not going to use it day 1, I'm going to use it day 2. There'll be guys, Greg Hackney, John Cox, just to name 2 of them, that don't use it at all. They could care less. Neither one of them use it. And Greg Hackney, he doesn't care what's going on with it. He just does his thing. Will this level the playing field? I think so. I think so. So I think they should do it that way. first or second day. If they're going to go, you do the same thing where they actually lock the transducer, then they could actually break it down to half days, quarter days. You know, if they don't have periods, but they have marshals on their boat, so they could say, okay, you know, everybody gets about 8 hours. 4 hours in, okay, you have to say, I'm going to use it in the morning or I'm going to use it in the afternoon. So whatever you decide, your marshal knows. They enforce the rules. Well, not enforce the rules, but they're there to make sure, you know, to report if you did break a rule, if you don't self-report. So you decide that you're going to use it first thing, or you decide that you're going to use it in the afternoon. You basically, at that 4th hour, either, you know, undo the box or put it on. And there you go. So this is basically, I just want to know your thoughts on it. I don't think it's ever going to go away. I mean, the electronic companies, they're too invested in it. There's too much invested in bass with sponsorship money. Electronics are just a big part of bass fishing and fishing in general. So it's another tool, you know, but in the series of competition to level the playing field, I think that this is the way to go. I think NPFL should stay doing what they're doing. Okay, you don't want to use it, you don't want to watch people using it, fine. Watch the NPFL, fish the NPFL. If you're MLF or Bass Elite, okay, now the playing field is leveled, and you basically decide when, if you're the angler, when you're going to use it, when you're not going to use it. For us, you know, the fans that want to watch it, it's certainly going to create, wow, you know, those guys that you know, that weren't allowed to use it, it definitely affected them. Or they're good enough angles where it didn't. Okay, so, and of course, you know, Mega 360 isn't affected. Side imaging isn't affected. Okay, so those are very, very effective tools. Okay, so you're going to see more, even though they use them a lot, you're going to see more of those being used when you're not able to use live. Okay. All right, so that's long-winded, I know, but do me a favor, let me know your thoughts. I appreciate it. I am going to be bringing you more of my live stuff that was posted to Facebook, and I'll be putting that on YouTube for people to check that out as well. So, all right, everybody have a great day, and we're definitely going to see you on the water if I haven't already. All right, be good.